Ryder and his Paw Patrol team were in the lookout when the monitor began to buzz. "It's Captain Turbot," cried Ryder. "He wants us to help him to count the penguins on Seal Island." "That sounds like fun. I'll need you, Sky, to count them from overhead, Zuma to count any in the water, Chase to count them on the land, and you, Robo-Dog, to drive the Paw Patroller. Let's go!" Robo-Dog was first down the slide. He quickly hopped into the front of the Paw Patroller and opened up the side for all the vehicles to enter. Chase was next after Robo-Dog, and he zoomed down the slide and into his cruiser. He carefully drove his cruiser into the Paw Patroller and then joined Robo-Dog in the front. Sky flew down the slide after Chase, and she bounced into her helicopter. She guided her helicopter into the Paw Patroller and then joined Chase and Robo-Dog. Zuma was next, and he jumped into his hovercraft. Last of all was Ryder, and he flew down the slide and hopped into his ATV. He pushed his ATV onto the Paw Patroller. The doors began to close. And Ryder made sure everything was safely tucked inside before joining the others. What the team did not realise was that while they were preparing the Paw Patroller, Chickaletta, the chicken, had hopped onto some crates near the Paw Patroller. She didn't know that she'd been spotted by Precious, the kitten. Precious attempted to catch Chickaletta, but Chickaletta realised what was happening and tried to hide in the Paw Patroller. Precious followed her, but Chickaletta was too fast and quickly hopped out of the Paw Patroller just as the door closed, trapping Precious inside. Chickaletta chuckled to herself and flew off. The Paw Patroller was off to Seal Island, and no one knew that Precious was inside too. It was cold and snowy on Seal Island. The Paw Patroller arrived, and Everest went to meet them in her snowmobile. They all jumped out of the Paw Patroller. "I can't wait to count the penguins," said Chase excitedly. "Let's get the vehicles out," cried Ryder to Robo-Dog, and Robo-Dog released the doors. Precious couldn't wait to get out of the Paw Patroller, but guess what the first thing she saw was? It was a seagull, and Precious just could not resist trying to catch it. She jumped onto Everest's snowmobile, but as the seagull flew off, Precious's paw hit the start lever and the snowmobile began to move. "What was that?" said Zuma. "It's Precious. She's driving your snowmobile, but she's totally out of control. We must save her," cried Ryder. "Everest, you go with Chase in his cruiser and see if you can catch her." Sky, I need you to look from above in your helicopter. Precious was totally out of control. She didn't know how to stop. Sky hovered in her helicopter, looking very carefully in the snow for any sign of her. Suddenly, Sky spotted her, but she was heading straight towards a rock by the sea. Precious crashed into the rock and then catapulted into the air. Luckily, she landed on a rock in the sea, but she was very scared. Sky checked she was all right and then told her she was going to get some help. "I found Precious," Sky told Ryder, "but she's stuck on a rock in the sea." "Zuma," cried Ryder, "I need you to rescue her in your hovercraft." Right away, replied Zuma, and off he went. Jump, cried Zuma, I'll catch you. Precious wasn't sure at first, but she did and landed safely on the hovercraft. Zuma then very carefully took her back to shore. Chase and Everest arrived to retrieve Everest's snowmobile. Luckily, he was undamaged, and they headed back to Ryder. Sky was first back, and she returned her helicopter to the Paw Patroller. Chase was next, followed by Zuma and Precious. Thank goodness you're all right, said Ryder, and the watching penguins agreed. Everest was not too far behind. I'm sorry, Captain Turbot, said Ryder. I think we've run out of time to count the penguins today. Could we come back another day, he asked. No problem, answered Captain Turbot. I'll look forward to it. And the penguins all agreed. Rocky was waiting at the station for Thomas to arrive. He was taking him on a Mashems hunt. Peppa and George arrived. What are you doing? asked Peppa. I'm going on a Mashems hunt, replied Rocky. That sounds like fun. Can we come as well? asked Peppa. That would be great, answered Rocky. Here comes Thomas now. Thomas arrived and they all hopped on board. Skittles, cried Peppa. Can we jump in? Yes, replied Rocky. There may be a Mashem hidden in there. So they all climbed up the side and jumped in. They had great fun with Skittles. Peppa thought she'd found a Mashem, but it was only George. Suddenly, Rocky did find something. It was indeed a Mashem, and he pushed it to the side of the pool. Once the Mashem was out of the pool, Rocky began to open it. Inside was a Rocky Mashem. Rocky was delighted. Popped the Rocky Mashem onto the truck and then all hopped on board to search for the next Mashem. They were steaming along nicely when Thomas suddenly started to have problems. He made an awful noise and smoke started to appear. Are you okay? asked the concerned Rocky. I will be when I get a mechanic to fix me, but I'm afraid my wheels won't move. I can't take you any further, said a sad Thomas. As Thomas's driver was making the call, George noticed a pile of bricks close by. Rocky came to take a closer look. "This is great," he said. "We can recycle these old bricks into a car." "Oh yes," smiled Peppa, "that will be fun. Let's start building." And so the three of them began to build a car. "Wow," smiled Rocky. "Let's see if it works." And it did. They thanked Thomas for his help. Thomas was very impressed with their car. "Get better soon," they cried, and off they went. "I can see a Mashem," cried George, "by the trees." So they stopped the car and all got out. "There it is," said Peppa. "You were right, George." They began to open it. Inside was another Rocky. "Would you believe it?" smiled Rocky. And they popped him into the car with the other Mashem Rocky. "I think we have time for one more," said Rocky. "Let's try the beach this time." So off they went to the beach. They could see a Mashem by the beach huts, so they all got out excitedly. "Do you think it'll be another Rocky?" asked George. "Probably," answered Rocky. "With our luck it will be." But when they opened it, it wasn't Rocky, but Zuma. "It's a Mashem Zuma," cried Rocky. "He loves water. Let's take him for a paddle." So they all had a paddle in the sea before popping Zuma onto the back of the car with the other Mashems. "What a great day," smiled Rocky. "Let's go home now." One day, Peppa and George were playing on the beach when suddenly George noticed something in the sand. "They look like eggs," said Peppa. And all of a sudden, they began to hatch. "They're not dinosaurs," Peppa told George. "They're turtles. They hatch on the beach and then they go to the water." "Oh wait, that means they have to cross the track. I hope a train doesn't come." But Thomas was on his way to the beach. "Quick! I'll call Paw Patrol. They'll know what to do. George, play with the turtles while we wait for them."
"I've called all of you for an emergency," said Ryder. "The sea turtles at the beach are hatching, but they need to cross the train tracks to get to the sea. Chase, I need you to stop all trains for now, and Rubble, I need you to build a bridge for the turtles so this doesn't happen again. Let's go."
Chase was first to get to the beach. And he soon set up barriers to stop the trains. Just in time, Thomas arrived. The turtles then crossed the track and entered the sea. Thanks, Thomas. You can go now, said Peppa, and Thomas chuffed away. Soon, Rubble got to the beach and started building the bridge.
Good job, everyone, said Ryder, as they all watched more turtles safely cross the track and swim away.
Bill and Ben had a new friend for Thomas. "Hello, Thomas," they said. "We have a new truck for you," said Bill. "He carries coal," said Ben. "Oh wow, thank you," said Thomas. "He's just over there," said Bill. "His name is Hector." "Have fun," they giggled as they reversed away. Why are they giggling?" thought Thomas. So he went over to introduce himself. "Hello, Hector. I'm Thomas," said Thomas. Okay," replied Hector. "Come on, let's go and get some coal." So Thomas coupled up to Hector and they left. The journey started well, but Hector got bored, so he started applying his brakes randomly. "Please, could you not do that? Otherwise this journey's going to take ages," asked Thomas. "Yeah, okay," replied Hector, before doing it one more time. Hector then decided to uncouple the trucks behind him. The trucks found it hilarious, but Thomas didn't notice. They finally reached Sam and the coal. "Hello, Thomas," said Sam. "Hello, Sam. Please could you fill my 3 trucks?" asked Thomas. "3? But you only have 1, said Sam. Hector was laughing. "Hector, was that you?" asked Thomas. "Hector? He's bad news, Thomas," warned Sam. "Well, he hasn't been very helpful so far. Fill him with coal then." So Sam scooped up the coal and was about to put it in Hector when Hector suddenly tugged Thomas back. So Sam poured the coal all over Thomas. Thomas was very angry. Coal was everywhere. He stormed off angrily. What was he going to do? He ran into Duck. "Hello, Thomas. Are you alright?" asked Duck. "I've got a really annoying truck. How do you deal with Scruffy?" he asked. "You just have to be quite firm with it," replied Duck. This gave Thomas an idea, so he thanked Duck and returned to Hector. You again, said Hector. Why is there no coal in you? Asked Thomas. I tried, said Sam, but he just refused to take any. But I filled these 2 trucks up for you, Thomas. So Thomas took the 2 trucks and decided to push Hector this time. He made Hector's journey as uncomfortable as possible. He then took Hector to a small hill. Have a great fall, said Thomas. But Hector went much faster than he expected. Oh dear. Sorry, Hector. I didn't mean for that to happen, said Thomas. I'm sorry for being such a pain today, said Hector. I'm just really nervous. Oh, don't be nervous, said Thomas. This job is actually much more fun than it looks. Chomper then arrived to get Hector back on the track. Thank you, Chomper, said Thomas. No problem, he said. Let's deliver some coal, said Thomas. So he coupled up to Hector and off they went. And believe it or not, Hector had a really good time.
Percy, said the Fat Controller, I'm afraid you can't use the tracks today. There are too many chocolate eggs in the way. Worker, please can you call Chomper to come and remove them? I can remove them, said Percy. No, Percy, you are too slow. No, I'm not. I'll prove it. I'll remove them myself. Alright, Percy, see if you can do it before he shows up. And Percy hurried off.
Whoa, ouch.
Whoa! Well done, Percy. You're not that slow after all. Hi, Chris here. Thanks for watching my video featuring the Percy's Chocolate Crunch, which comes with 2 trucks with removable cargo and a piece over his head which can be taken off.
Once upon a time, there was a king and a queen. And they had a princess and a prince. "Princess Peppa, someday you shall be queen," said the king. "I know, I can't wait," she replied. "So you're going to have to stay safe," said the king. "So we're going to put you in a tower where no one can harm you, as no one can get in," said the queen. "But surely if no one can get in, no one can get out," said Princess Peppa. "We know, dear, but it's for your own safety," added the king. So the princess was put in the tower, and she was desperately unhappy and very lonely. Back in the castle, Prince George was worried about her. "Oh, I wish I could save her," he thought. "If only my dragon was real." "I'll have to come up with a plan tomorrow," he decided, so he went to bed. While he was asleep, Fairy Susie appeared. "George, you have to save Peppa," she whispered, and she waved her wand towards his dragon and left. In the morning, his dragon was missing. "Where's my dragon gone?" he wondered. He then looked out of his bedroom and saw it. It was real! "Oh wow, I can now save Peppa," he cried. So he hopped on its back and took off. But whilst in the air, he realised that he could do a lot of things that he had only dreamed about. Now that he had a dragon, Peppa could wait. He could set things on fire. He could push over immovable objects. And he could fly to strange, faraway places that he'd never been to before. When he got back, he landed. "Wow, what a day," he said. "Did you have fun, dragon?" "I feel like I'm forgetting something," he thought. Suddenly, Fairy Susie appeared. "You've forgotten about Peppa. That's why I brought your dragon to life in the first place," she cried. "Oh yeah, well, I'm pretty tired. Maybe I'll save her tomorrow," said George. "No, go and save her now," ordered Susie. Fine," said George, so he took off. "What's that sound?" wondered Peppa. "Hey Peppa, I'm here to rescue you," cried George. "Hop on." And they flew back to Fairy Susie. "Well done, George," said Susie. "Yes, thank you, George," said Peppa. "No problem," George replied. "Thank you, dragon." So they flew over to the king and queen, and Peppa explained how awful the tower was. "You're right, Peppa," apologised the queen. "Sorry, dear." We won't make you live there, just be really careful, added the king. Oh, thank you, said Peppa. And thanks again, George. No problem, he replied. And because of his bravery, Fairy Susie had granted George one wish, and he wished that his dragon could come to life whenever he wanted it to.
It was a quiet day at the Paw Patrol lookout, but the local playground was busy. Ryder decided to let 3 of the pups get some exercise at the playground. A bird was also taking a break from sitting on its eggs. The mummies were chatting and the squirrels were busy. Thomas brought Everest, Zuma and Rocky. One of the mummies recognised the pups and, knowing they were good, let them through the playground gate. Rocky and Zuma raced towards the roundabout. Everest went down the slide and even did a roll at the bottom. Zuma liked the swing. And so did Rocky. Everest was on the rocking horse. The children just love the puppies. Then all of a sudden, a strong gust of wind blew through the trees. It blew so hard that the bird's eggs fell out of the nest. The bird was going mad. Everyone gathered around the eggs, but the nest was just too high up for them to reach. Back at the lookout, Ryder saw what had happened. Marshall, they need your ladder. Marshall got into his fire engine and off he sped. When he arrived, a boy had gathered up the eggs to keep them warm. Marshall got his ladder in position and let the boy climb it. Steady! Phew! The eggs were replaced and the boy climbed down. Marshall moved away and the bird returned to the nest, very happy. Everyone else was happy with their good deed for the day. "I'll race you to Lower Tidmouth," said Thomas to Percy, and off he went. Percy went a different way, but just around the first bend, something went wrong with Thomas, and he stopped. Percy didn't realise and raced on. Thomas's driver got out. He said, I just need my tool belt. Percy made it to the station. I won! I won! Thomas's driver got out his tool belt and took out a spanner. Ah, that's the problem, Thomas. A bolt has come undone, but the nut has dropped off somewhere. We'll never find that, Thomas. We need a replacement. Meanwhile, Percy was worried that Thomas hadn't reached the station and left to look for him. There you are, said Percy. Ah, Percy, said Thomas's driver. Thomas needs a replacement nut. Could you fetch it for us? I'll radio ahead to say you're coming. Percy left. In a short while, he came back with the new nut. That was quick, Percy. Thomas's driver then set to work. He put the bolts back, holding the metal straps together. Put the nut in place and the spanner around it. He then used the screwdriver to tighten it up. There, he said. Just needs a drop of oil now. He packed his tool belt up and thanked Percy. With his engine fixed, Thomas then got back to racing against Percy. Thanks for watching our story, which featured the Thomas and Friends Engineers Toolkit playset. There's 35 pieces, including some train maintenance cards, some train timetable cards, some pens, some nuts and bolts, 4 lengths of metal, plastic, a tool belt with hammer, screwdriver and spanner, a pretend walkie-talkie, clock and compass, and some oil and an oil can. The belt will fit around a young engineer's waist with the Velcro strap. Everything you need to keep the trains running on time.
Uh-oh, it's Tom Moss. And he's discussing his plan with a minion. Ooh, that's a bad combination. Nearby, Thomas was guarding a very special crown that an old friend was due to deliver. It wasn't long before Mighty Mac and Oliver arrived. Hello, Thomas, they said. Hi guys, Thomas replied. Can I see Thomas? Asked one side of Mighty Mac. Okay, said the other. Ah, that's better. Hello, Thomas. Is that the crown I'm delivering? Asked Oliver. Yes, but be careful. Some people may want to steal it. It's very valuable, warned Thomas. And especially watch out for Tom Moss. Well, I'll let you sort that out, said Mighty Mac. I promised to help out so Topham Hatt. And he left. he ran into a minion, but he'd never met a minion before, so he didn't know who it was. "Hello," he said. "Who are you?"
I'm, Tom Moss.
Tom Moss? Oh, I'd better warn Oliver, he thought, so he rushed back to the others. Guys! Guys! Tom Moss is over there, cried Mighty Mac. Really? Okay, well, Oliver, you'd better go the other way, said Thomas. Oliver agreed, so went the other way. Unfortunately, he ran into the actual Tom Moss, but Oliver didn't know who he was either. "Hello there," he said. "I'm delivering this very important crown. Please could you move out of the way?" Oliver didn't realise that the truck was on the points, and it was too late. "Oh, I walked right into that one," thought Oliver. Tom was getting away. Oliver turned around and chased. But only found an empty truck. "Oh, he could be anywhere by now," he said. Oliver went back to tell the others, but no one knew what to do. Luckily, some Paw Patrol pups were nearby. "What's that sound?" asked Tracker. "It's Tom Moss," cried Sky. Tom passed by. "Is he royal?" asked Tracker. "No, he must have stolen that crown," cried Rubble. "We've got to get it back." Sky had an idea and changed into her flying gear and took off. "Phew, that was fast," said Tracker. She found him and chased him. Until she knocked the crown off. Tom didn't care though, he just didn't want to get caught again, so he ran back to his tunnel. So Sky took the crown and gave it back to the others. "Thank you, Sky," said Oliver. "No problem," she replied. So the crown was put back in the truck and Oliver delivered it. But he was a lot more careful this time. Some of the Paw Patrol pups were trying out their new train. They were having a lot of fun. "This train is great," cried Chase. "Yeah, we need to tell Thomas," said Tracker. Everyone agreed, so they went over to their lookout tower to tell him. "Our new train is amazing," said Marshall. "Oh, that's great, guys," said Thomas. "The trucks can hold our cars," said Tracker. "And it's really fast," added Chase. "Wow, I'd love to see it sometime," said Thomas. But nearby, someone was listening in on their conversation. It was George, and he wanted to see the train, but he didn't know where it was. "So, who helped you build it?" asked Thomas. "Oh, it was some minion engineers," said Marshall. George had an idea. If he found the engineers, they'd tell him where the train was. He soon found them. Hello, I heard you helped build a train for the Paw Patrol team, he said.
Ooh, yeah.
Please could you show it to me? Asked George.
Well, okay.
So they took him there.
Ta-da!
Wow, very impressive. Can I ride on the train? He asked.
Sure.
So they took him to the platform. He really enjoyed it. And then disaster struck. The track warped, and the train headed towards the broken track. It derailed. And off it went.
Uh-oh.
Back at the tower. So, what does the train look like? Asked Thomas. Well, it looks like that, cried Chase. What's George doing with our train? Cried Tracker. And why is it not on the track? Asked Marshall. The engineers arrived.
George! Train! Uh-oh!
We've got to stop the train, said Chase. I'm on it, said Thomas, and he chased after George, who managed to get the train on Thomas's track. He lost the trucks. It was like a runaway train. Thomas tried to keep up, but he struggled. He needed to come up with a plan. George looped back round. Thomas was ready. Got him! Cried Thomas. Oh no, sulked George. I'm in trouble now. The others arrived. George, why didn't you stop the train? Asked Marshall. Oh, I was having too much fun. I've never driven a train before, he said. Oh George, you are naughty. Well, thanks Thomas for stopping it, said Tracker. No problem, I'm just glad we both managed to stay on the track, said Thomas. Engineers, I think our track needs some maintenance, said Chase.
Oh, yeah.
So they went back to the track and fixed it. They brought the train back and it ran smoothly again.
Oh. A good dream, Thomas, said Gordon. No, said Thomas, it wasn't. Ah, Thomas, said Sir Topham Hatt. Today I'd like you to move all the cargo. But sir, that means using those troublesome trucks, said Thomas. Well, yes, of course it does. How else are you going to do it? Now off you go. Good luck, Thomas, shouted Percy. Don't let them boss you around, said James. Thomas left in a bad mood and immediately started bumping the trucks. He actually started to enjoy it and bumped them harder and harder. trucks were not happy and had a meeting. They came up with a plan to get back at Thomas. Thomas then steamed around the corner and up the slope and right into a truck. He was now completely stuck. His wheels were going round, but he was going nowhere. The trucks lowered the track and then started bumping the truck that Thomas was in. The truck didn't mind, but Thomas found it very uncomfortable. Then one big bump and Thomas and his truck toppled over. The trucks all laughed. Digging Rig's Chomper was called to sort out the mess. He quickly got to work. Eventually, Thomas was back on the track with some trucks behind him. "Thanks, Chomper," he said, and carried on. Later on, back at Tidmouth Sheds, the other engines found it all quite funny. Sir Topham Hatt wasn't happy though, and told Thomas that tomorrow he would have to finish moving the cargo and that he would have to be good to the trucks. "If you treat them well, they will work hard for you," he said. Thomas didn't want to close his eyes that night, just in case he saw... Thanks for watching our story. If you like it, go on, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and then watch some more of our stories. See you soon.